What's up, you guys? Boris here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Finance Talk. Today we're taking a deep dive into my brokerage account. I'm going to be sharing with you guys an unadulterated, unfiltered look into my position in Moderna. It's been a highly profitable trade. I'm going to be sharing with you my entry points, my exit strategy, how are we going to make some money in this trade. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell so you guys are notified about all my future uploads. And together we're going to make some money, you guys. Alright, you guys, here's a view of my brokerage account. Unadulterated, unfiltered, my Moderna position. So here I put up a chart in front of you guys, and I drew on some trend lines. And our first trend line starts back in March. The stock was about $20 at that point, back in March. And we ran up to $60-something. Here we are in October. The position nearly tripled. So, I mean, that's incredible. In such a short time span, 6 months, we tripled the position. Phenomenal returns. But you know what? The stock then even became more bullish, and we here developed a new trend. Back in mid-November, here we are. And that trend held through about late November, just about under a month, at which point we gapped up and we became even more bullish. Here we are on this newest trend line. This one is nearly vertical. So this stock has been bullish, even more so bullish. It's been an incredible performer. It's rallied from $20 upwards of as high as $178 just last week. So, I mean, this stock has doubled up multiple times in a short period of time. So maybe it's a bubble, but you know what they say about the trend? The trend is your friend. Make money on that trend, okay? Until the date at which it no longer works. So we're making money on this trend, you guys. So here's what we're looking at. This trend has been holding up very strong. In fact, we had a gap up and we closed the gap. So if you guys know what closing the gap means, is whenever a stock jumps up a gap is when a stock closes at one position at 4 p.m. the prior day, and the next morning at 9 a.m. when the regular trading hours open, it then jumps up and it doesn't open within the same range of the previous trading day. It basically, if it in this position, in this instance, for instance, it closed around 110, and here it opened around 113. That's a $3 gap. So, and here we closed up at 129, and the next day we opened at big gap here, 140. So there we are. We gapped up 2 days in a row, and they were big, massive gaps. And so anytime we have a gap, we tend to close the gap, meaning that price range then comes back within that range where the gap was. So the gap was from in this latest gap, the gap was from 130 to 140. And here we traded back down into this range. That's known as closing the gap. So we had closed the gap, and then we turned back around, and we started running back up again. All the meanwhile still holding this latest trend line. So this is an extremely bullish setup. One of the most bullish setups I've ever seen. It's been bullish since March. I mean, incredible. So let's take a look at my position in Moderna. So currently, I put on the position just a little over 2 weeks ago. I think under 2 weeks. I got to look at the exact date I had put on the position. So I bought 315 shares. And it started running up rapidly. They started announcing trade deals with Europe. That a lot of European countries are purchasing the vaccine, and it started running up. So I was fortunate in my entry. I got in. I had good entry. So you see, my average trade price is $128, and that's my dollar cost average because I started buying more and more. So my dollar cost average kind of increased because I was buying more positions. So anyway, my dollar cost average comes out to be $128. That's my average trade price. Currently we're at 165, so that's a phenomenal return on your investment. So since my opening, I've made $11,700 on the stock. We had a big down day, this big red candle here, back on on December 1st. The low of that day was $130 approximately on that date. I basically wiped out my gains that date. I was almost break even. So what I did, I was still bullish on the stock. So what I did is I put on a bullish put spread that day, where I sold a 115 put and I bought the 110 put with February expiration, and I collected $2 in premium. So basically, and I put on 25 contracts. So actually, here's a picture of what I took a picture that day of my trade. So I collected, I sold the 115 put and I bought the 110 put. My break even was $113 because I collected $2 in premium. My max profit was $5,000 and my max loss is $7,500. So with my mindset, this is a great trade. To wager $7,500 to potentially make $5,000, it's a good setup in my eyes. So here's my premium collected. I collected $5,000, and this is the cost of the commission. So this is what I collected, $49.67. So that's my setup, and I feel like it's highly unlikely for the stock to come into the money at 115. So I think this is a really good setup. What I've made on this bullish put spread so far is the difference between these two figures here, because I lost 13.6 on the long position. I made nearly 15 on the short position. So the difference is about what is that? $1,300, $1,325 is the difference on these two legs here. So all in all, on the bullish put spread and the long stock position, I'm up $13,245. That's great because I traded $40,000 in this position, so I'm up 13.2. So what is that? That's about 14,000, 14. I'm up 35% approximately. As earlier there was 14, I was up 14,000, so I was up 35% approximately. You know, we're trading live right now, so this number is fluctuating. But so far in about 2 weeks, I'm up 35% on this position. So it's been phenomenally, amazingly, incredibly bullish. Going forward, what am I going to do? Am I going to continue to hold this position? I mean, it's nearly vertical, so you got to think that it's probably a bubble, right? I'm not going to hold it for much longer. This market is pretty much a hype market. So whatever the hype in, all the retail investors are now rushing into the same position. So the moment Moderna receives FDA approval to sell their vaccine in the U.S., this stock is going to run up. That same date, at the end of business hours, at the end of business trading, I am closing out that position. I suspect there's going to be probably a lot of profit taking, similar to my mindset at that point. So what am I going to do? I'm going to redeploy my capital into another position. What am I going to do? I don't know. Airbnb has an IPO coming up this week. I'll probably put some capital into that. All right, you guys. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you guys are notified of all my newest uploads. And so till next time, you guys. Thanks for tuning in.